So, hello again to all my listeners out there. I thank for tuning in. So, this is more like an update video. And I first want to say thank you for all the ones that checked out my video about being a single mom. It's a video I did about 3 or 4 years ago about my testimony. So, I'm glad that it's still inspiring people, encourage people. So, this is more going to be like a part two in a way. So, if you're new to this channel and you just found it and discovered it, I just wanted to give out my testimony so you can just see the reason why I started doing this and just get like a little background direction I'm going as well. So my name is ShuCora's. I'm a writer and an artist, and this is my channel, my new channel. It is Convos, Canvas, and Christ. So I hope that you be blessed by any of the content that's on this channel. And if you have any ideas for topics that you want to discuss, feel free to email me. My email is in my description box below. And hey, don't be shy. No topic is off limits, except for like politics, because I know that's a whole different field. So I really don't really talk about politics. That's a whole different world. So I just stay off limits to that. But I'm really more into talking about heart to heart things to help people grow and move forward in life. So let's just jump in on the testimony, my story. So a good portion of my life, I struggled with rejection issues. I had a problem loving myself. I had a problem accepting myself. I had low self-esteem. I had a problem with my confidence. It's like looking at myself in the mirror, I saw an enemy. I didn't see someone that I love and cared for, which led to me wanting to commit suicide, not on one occasion, but on quite a few occasions, because I had dealt with people always saying something about me. And a lot of that built some resentment inside me, because I felt like that I was like this outcast, this black sheep, and I really didn't have nobody to go to really talk about how I was feeling on the inside. So I let all that build up, which led to me making some really crazy decisions, because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to be cherished. I wanted to be cared for. And even though I did have, some people in my life that really showed genuine love and concern, I focused so much on what other people were saying and doing that I rejected what they were trying to give me. So it was something that I really had to, even now, still going through the process to really sit down and look at. Because when you think about some of the bad choices you make in your life, you have to look at the roots. You have to look at what led to those decisions. So me, I'm fast forward to me being in college. I really feel like I was more independent. I feel like I can really be an individual, because I was away from the nightmare of being in junior high and high school. I was away from the taunting and the bullying and saying this and that. So I felt like in college I can really be who I am without all the negative words and all that. Because people, grow up. They do. Some do. Not everybody, but people grow up. But my mindset in college wasn't really on God. Now, let me backtrack. I don't want to feel like I'm all over the place, so let me backtrack. When I was real young, I did have a true, real, authentic love for God. But as I grew older, I felt like that love for God was not popular at all. I was already being talked about, but saying that you're going to church or a church girl, you love God and all that, that gives people more. I feel like it would give them more ammunition to talk about me even more, because I didn't do all the other stuff everybody was doing. So when I got to college, I felt that, I need to be this type of girl that everybody want to be around, and not this girl that, oh, she this church person, all this and that. I just kind of abandoned that whole thing. And I keep saying kind of because it was still in me to follow God, but I was rebelling against God. So in college, I found myself being attracted to these type of guys that really didn't have my best interest in mind. I knew they didn't have my best interest in mind. But because I wanted to be accepted, I wanted to be loved, I was still dealing with rejection issues, still dealing with self-esteem issues. And I thought, hey, if I have a boyfriend or somebody to connect with, then, I can feel like I'm somebody. Hey, I am stuff. I am this chick, because I have somebody interested in me. But I end up being with the wrong person. I ended up being attracted to the wrong type of guy. And that wasn't the type of man that I needed in my life. So when it came down to my pregnancy, I really thought I can make things better. I really thought I could make things better. I thought, oh, I'm going to have this family, I'm going to do this and that. But God was warning me all along about the relationship I was in to cut that off, because that was not His best for me. That was not the direction He wanted me to go in. But I didn't want to listen, because I wanted to make this fairy tale come true that, hey, people already were saying stuff about me, so I need to prove them wrong. This gonna happen. This time, I had this great lifestyle, but none of that wasn't going according to my make-believe plan, because it wasn't real. I was caught up in a situation that was not made for me, so I had to reap those consequences, hard consequences, that led me to being a single mom. Now, let me just emphasize on this. I cut out the relationship with my son's father. Like, I didn't want a relationship with him anymore at all. I cut that off when my son was about 5 or 6 months old, because I knew it wasn't God's will for me. So that was more like a bad breakup. So that adds some hurt and some pain on top of that. But I knew that if I wanted to start doing things God's way, then I need to cut that off. So I think I should have said that in the beginning. After my son, I think my son was like 4 or 5 months, I decided to really get serious about God. And I knew that if I wanted to be serious about God, I need to start acting like that godly example. So I cut that relationship with my son's father, which also just led me to being a single mom. And to some people, that don't make sense. That's not right and all that. But they also don't know that during my pregnancy, I was already practicing that, because my son's father didn't live with me. He worked in a whole other city in another town. And my son, before our breakup, I think he left to go up north about 4 or 5. My son's about 4 or 5 months old, to work, and that's where he's been ever since. And it's not saying he's a bad guy, because he do still talk to my son. My son goes and visit him now during the summertime. He's been doing that for the last 5 years. He's been going up, and his dad will come down sometimes throughout the year when he can to visit his son. But when it came down to me and him, that relationship was not going to work well. So if I would have stayed with him, and yes, he did want to marry me, but I knew that wasn't God's will. Our relationship, that household, is going to be a mess. It's going to be a broken home. But that's a whole nother topic I would love to discuss one day, because I think people think as single moms that we're the issue, we're the problem with this and that. Not to say we don't have bad single mothers, but for some of us, the decision that we made actually led to peace. Some of us had to become single mothers. We had to make that decision, because if we would have kept down the path we were on, then that situation would not turn out the way it is now. We won't be on the right path. We won't, doing better than it was some years back. We'll still be out there, probably have some more kids by different men because of the bad decision. So when you learn how to cut stuff off when it needs to be cut off, it just lessens the time, less than time wasted. So that's how I got to single motherhood. So of course, during that time, I dealt with some financial issues. I dealt with emotional issues, becoming that, actually stacked up on rejection issues, because now I know, I'm a failure. Now people are going to gossip about me, do this and that. And yes, I have heard quite, some few hurtful things during my pregnancy, but I thank God for allowing me to surpass what people were saying. So of course, yes, I had emotional, financial, all these different various issues, but I coming out on top. I'm coming out on top. So now I have finished my MBA. I finished my MBA, and now I am trying to debate if I'm going to finish my doctoral program. Start my doctoral program. I have got accepted into a PhD program in strategic media, and I'm excited about that, because I would love to get into that media broadcasting industry. So that's really just getting some more thought to it, because yes, I know student loans, but I have done a lot better in my finances, and I thank God for the experience I did have earlier, struggling in my finances, because it gave me the push I need to learn about savings, budgeting, and also getting the stocks and stuff, and having that extra income, learn how to get extra income inside your household. So with the single motherhood, and now I am working in ministry. I have became a licensed. Well, I would say I'm more considered like an aspiring missionary. Aspiring missionary. So I gave my first sermon back in December. If you want to look that up, it's called. Let me think about it. Because I noticed something that I should remember. My first one. Oh, it's called The Lies We Kill. That's in the title, The Lies We Kill. And I am at Tabernacle South Haven, Church of God in Christ. So you just look that up, look my name up, Missionary ShuCora's. You should see that come up if you want to take a listen to that. So my story now. So I'm working in ministry now. I do speak. I am working with theater production now. And what I love about theater production, about theater and fine arts is that I get to talk about some real life issues and put them on stage and just have people act it out so they can relate to other people. Because sometimes for some people, when it comes to this preaching, some people don't get it right then and there, but it takes that added ministry like of plays, fine arts, for people to act it out, for them to really like, oh, now I get it, now I see it. And that's not to take the place of preaching, but just add to it. So working in ministry now, trying to, be that example and try to be this woman of God that other women can model after, and so they can know that they can make it through. And also, I started my publishing company, small. I said very small company, but I have plans for it to grow because I have so much writing and things I want to put out there. So I decided that, I need my own space. So start my own publishing companies to have my own voice out there so I won't be dictated by what everybody's saying. So this is my whole testimony, and I hope I was not all over the place. I hope I'm not. I just wanted you to get a glimpse of my story, my testimony, and also the single motherhood, because I know, people were blessed by that video, but you feel like you want more on that, more encouragement, my process, what I went through was like, you can just comment below, and I probably may do a separate video just for that, because I did, I appreciate the feedback I got. It really encouraged me to keep going on. And yes, I do desire to be married one day, but I also know that I need to keep myself in a certain way so God can bless me with that husband and make sure I walk the path that He has for me. So I hope y'all got something out of that today. And if I left anything out, like I said, don't be scared to comment. Just comment and let me know. Say, ShuCora, you were talking about this, and you switch over to this. I need to learn more about that. But I'm still working hard, still trying to make sure I perfect this and just open up some good combos for y'all. So y'all have a great day, and God bless you. It's Easter weekend. Find yourself somebody else's church Sunday, and then come back the next Sunday. Okay, y'all have a great day.